All right, folks, we're going to get started in just a minute. I hope everyone's doing excellent out there on the old internet. I'm doing all right. Excited for a night of model kit building and conversation and hanging out on a Saturday evening. My third stream in a row because of yesterday's bonus stream. I could have taken tonight off, but I didn't want to. I want to work on a model kit and hang out with all of you. And we're going to get started in about 30 seconds. I'm running a pre-show ad break here, 60-second ad break, so that folks for the first 20 so minutes don't see the pre-roll ads. And also, I make a couple pennies by doing that. That'll be fun. I'm going to talk about what just happened here once we get started with the stream proper in just a few moments. Because it's fucking cool what just happened there. But we're going to get started with the stream in just a moment or two. Get ready for it. It's coming your way. Okay. Hello and welcome to the Build with Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to build a model kit and to hang out with all of you. I'm throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the Tier 2 blue emote in the chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you are not yet a subscriber, you can say hi or use other people's emotes. Or if you feel like being a lurker, you can just go ahead and lurk, and that's okay. Also, throw those emotes in there as we thank Dirty for 48 months. That's 4 years of being a subscriber. That's ridiculous. Ghost Valve's here. Hello, Ghost Valve. Thank you very much, Dirty, for 48 months. Obviously, 48, that's just a ton of months, but specifically, that's 4 years. Where does the time go? Thank you so much for that. Appreciate it. Welcome, everybody, here in the old Bill with Bear. Hopefully, a few more friends will join us tonight. You might be saying to yourself, Pat, I'm pretty sure that you also streamed yesterday. That's true. It was not model kit building, but we did hang out yesterday while I ran so many hours of CPU versus CPU matches in WWE 2K23, raising some money to help with some medical bills, hanging out. It was a good time. Now, before we get into model kit building, I gotta take care of this here. We gotta figure this part out. So, my end goal, that if I hit my goal, we hit 100% of the goal, the money raised, then I would show, because it was a wrestling stream, a comedy promo that I did as a wrestling character and a comedic match that I participated in as a comedy wrestler. A comedian doing wrestling. And I didn't hit the goal. I was at 99%, stream ended, thanked everybody, posted on social media, boom, got a donation, hit my goal. So my goal was hit, but I wasn't streaming. So I'm going to do that on Tuesday. Originally, I was going to be playing Jackbox Party Pack 9 because it's been a while since we played it, and 10 is coming out in October. So I was like, let's just do one more of that. We'll do Jackbox Party Pack 9, the finale in August or September. Next Tuesday, it's going to be a Pat Watches Wrestling stream. It's been a while since we did one of those. And in that Pat Watches Wrestling stream, we are going to show, because it does count as old wrestling because it's from 9 years ago, the UCBW, the Upper Citizens Brigade Theater wrestling stuff that I did. We'll look at that there. Also, that's good because it gives more time for me to promote Jackbox stream sometime next month. So that's the situation we are in right now. I wanted to say that on stream because I figured somebody might ask about it at some point. Oh, I'm going to sneeze. Hold on. Sorry. Pardon me. I figured at some point somebody would ask, hey, you said you were going to show those videos if you got your goal, and you did, but I didn't do it on stream, so I didn't show it yesterday, but I will on Tuesday. Also, I do have some matches, and I can. I'm gonna have to. I think I'm gonna have to dig up a few more to watch, but I do have a few set up. Some fun wrestling matches to look at. Yeah, I've got 1, 2, 3. I've got 3 matches set up or set aside here from All Japan and Michinoku Pro. So we got a few there. And then also my comedy wrestling match, the at the time UCBW champion, the Douche, defending against in an open challenge against Beach Cop. It was me. And then also from a couple months later, both in 2014, Beach Cop answers his critics, which was a promo where I was gonna finally set the record straight because there were a bunch of people that didn't know what was going on. Because I had a contract and a fanny pack, and I wasn't cashing in that contract, and so I had to explain myself. Anyway, I should work on this model kit. It's time to work on the Michaelis. I started this kit on Thursday, but we're diving in right now. So let's go over to the overhead here. We got the Michaelis here, coming together really nice. I love that this head is 4 pieces. Just 4 pieces and a sticker. Very simple, easy to put together. Great looking kit so far. We've built one bigger bay, and this is kind of similar in it, but different color scheme. And then it's got a cool blaster arm, as you see. But also that blaster arm can detach. And so we have the... do I have the... Well, we don't need it now, but I don't know where I put that wire. But I have the wire. Oh, it's right here. Great. It comes with a wire so that you can have the thing separate, and then it has a stand for the blaster, which is neat. It's a neat addition to it. But we're ways away from that because we've got to still work on the body because this is the type of kit where you're building the chest and the waist. So we have completed the chest here, but we still need to build or eventually the waist. But right now we got to build the backpack here. And then we'll build the waist part as well. So let's get this backpack put together here. We will be panel lining as we go. As we finish the segment, we'll do that. Hello, Lashbrook. Welcome, welcome. And this is a big wrestling weekend, not just because I did a stream yesterday about wrestling, but also because tomorrow we've got All In, bright and early, an all-day affair. I will be watching it live, and I also have plans to perhaps watch at least some of it later in the day with other people who are not going to be watching it live, perhaps. So it's gonna be busy. It's gonna be a busy day tomorrow with the wrestling. A couple quick hits before we dive into All In and look at the card and I make my predictions. One really short thing that I want to say. In my ongoing efforts to chronicle the rise and fall and fall and fall and fall and fall, that is Elon Musk and Twitter, I must inform you about Musk. Elon was spotted in public and booed mercilessly, and it fucking whips ass. That's right. Elon Musk thought it would be a good idea to go to the Valorant Championships and be in the crowd, or be noticed by the crowd at the Valorant Championships, to which enough, I don't want to say all, it wasn't universal, but enough of the crowd was like, boo, boo. So much so that the people doing commentary were like, wait, that isn't about the game, right? They were like confused why people were booing suddenly. And then they looked out in the crowd and then they knew, and they could have, but they didn't want to say, oh, Elon Musk is here and everyone is mad about that and unhappy with him. So they didn't say that. Instead, they just kind of carried on. Although one of the announcers for the English commentary did start laughing when there was a completely, you could hear it. Oh no, I dropped the marker. Hold on, drop my marker. So Elon Musk now noticed in the crowd for the Valorant Championships, and people are booing him, and then a chant starts like it's a fucking wrestling show, and there is a crowd chant that is, of course, bring back Twitter, bring back Twitter, bring back Twitter, and you can hear it clearly on the commentary, And you can also hear one of the commentators laughing because it is fucking hilarious. And that's, as always, friends, that's that's it, right? Like, hey, in your private life, you got a level of privacy, like people are not invading your space or whatever. Of course, you want to try to make it so that even public records about your flight plans are, like not cool. Sure, you can make a bunch of silly choices that way. But when you step into a public space like the Valorant Championships, people are going to exercise their freedom of speech to make fun of you. You spent so much money and destroyed a thing people liked just to be clowned on every time you go in public. Congratulations, Elon Musk. I know that bothers you so much. I hope that becomes a pattern, and everywhere he goes, where there are lots of people, that chant just starts up again, because it's fucking funny. It's funny. It's great because he doesn't deserve a good time due to his previous actions, and it is and his choices in life, that he doesn't get to have fun. He doesn't get to be the cool guy. Like, oh, check it out. Elon Musk showed up to this thing. That must mean it's awesome. It's like, no, it's a bummer. And we're going to let you know it's a bummer that you're here. So that's fun. So congratulations to a large portion of the audience at that event who are just like, nah, good on you, friends. You done good. Unrelated, completely and totally. I don't have a lot to say about this. I don't have a monologue in me about this, but it is good to acknowledge that we lost Bob Barker today at the age of 99. Yes, he was several weeks away from his 100th birthday. Yes, he got close to $1 without going over. If I'm the first time you've heard that joke today, congratulations. You are far less online than me. So good on you. But yeah, Bob Barker passed. He had been in poor health for quite some time, but did hit 99, which is remarkable. It's a very long life. Bob Barker, obviously best known for his days as the host of Price is Right, but from the perspective of me, a wrestling fan, it must be said that he was an excellent host. Just a phenomenal host when WWE was having guest hosts for Raw, their big Monday show. He did it once, and it was very funny, and he was great at it. And so, yeah, obviously, it's a shame. But again, 99, pretty fucking good. Good on him. All right, let's see. So this goes like this. And this is supposed to go here. Yeah. And then this fits here because we're doing the waist at the same time as we're doing all the other parts. So this goes in here. I'm going to panel line this first because it gets covered with some armor. So we might as well hit this with some black to make it look all kinds of nice. We'll do that there. All right, so those are the smaller things that I want to chat about. The larger thing is, let's talk about it. Let's talk about All In 2023. We've got apparently 2 matches on the pre-show, and then 9 matches on the main card. Our pre-show matches are Aussie Open, Mark Davis and Kyle Fletcher. Defending their Ring of Honor Tag Championships against Better Than You, Baby, which is MJF and Adam Cole. They are also in the main event, and we'll get to that, obviously. I don't know how... honestly, I'm going to give you my predictions on these. I don't know how this plays out. I really don't have any idea how this match is going to work. They could win it. That would be interesting, because then they would be, MJF would be double champion. MJF would appear on Ring of Honor TV. That would be interesting. It could be that they lose. and one of them gets hurt. And so there's some bad feelings going to the main event because one got hurt saving the other or something like that. It could be that one of them double crosses the other, uses an opportunity to get one of them beat up so they're in a weaker position for the main event. Could be, like MJF, could be Adam Cole. They could just wrestle their hearts out and still lose. I will say, it's kind of, the storyline stuff is interesting. It is weird to think about the idea that Aussie Open are at a level where they're going to beat, most likely, they're going to beat MJF, the world champion, and even in a tag match. That feels weird, so I don't know what's happening here, but it's a strange situation. Our second pre-show match was determined, quote-unquote, tonight on Collision. It was announced on Collision, but because Collision was taped on Wednesday, people have known about it for quite some time. And that match is Jack Perry versus Hook for the FTW Championship. Originally, this was going to be, this storyline was going to happen on Dynamite. It got pushed to Collision. This story's been happening back and forth. I don't think that Hook loses twice, but in a row, but he should. What I mean by that is Jack Perry shouldn't lose so soon. I think this heel jerk Jack Perry should be winning at a big event, but also this match shouldn't be on the pre-show and shouldn't be at All In. This is a all-out match. This feels like it should be an all-out match, and it's weird that it's an all-in match. This would get time at All Out, a show they've barely built anything for because a lot of All Out is going to be on the back of this show. So it's like, oh, okay, well, what else you got? And I'm not sure if they know quite what they've got. So it's weird. It's weird vibes. We got some weird vibes going into this the next show after this. Okay, now on to the main card. Obviously, this is not in order. This is Wikipedia's order. So this is not, you should not say like, oh, that's the running order. They don't know that shit. They're just putting it in whatever order they want to put it in. What do we got? Okay. We got a tag team match for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. We've got FTR, which is Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler. AKA FTR Bald and FTR Gunn, defending their titles against the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson. It is odd to me that Kenny Omega is dealing with like elite business and dealing with like a bunch of problems, and the Bucks are all like, yeah, cool, dude. Anyway, we're trying to win belts, so we're gonna go do that. Like, good luck, dude. It's weird to me. So, legacy-wise, FTR should probably win. Situational-wise, the Young Bucks should win. FTR on the chase is interesting to me. FTR with more to prove is interesting to me. But the most compelling reason is one of the members on FTR is currently out on bail on federal gun charges. And maybe he shouldn't fucking be a champion. And they didn't want to strip him of the belt and proven innocent until proven guilty and all of those shenanigans and all of that. But the dude flashed a gun at someone and has been charged with the crime and has pled, and has made bail. And because it is he's allowed to leave, he is not considered a flight risk, but fucking still, perhaps he should not be champion. I know I'm being all kinds of kooky and weird by thinking that maybe Dash shouldn't be a champion. Or Cash, I should say, not Dash. Cash Wheeler shouldn't be a champion. A four-way fight. We got a four-way fight for the AW Women's World Championship. We do not have, as of the time of this recording, and probably not, the the TNT Championship. Seems like it is not going to be defended, which is a shame. That'll probably be all out, it seems like. That's Hikaru Shida, the champion, Toni Storm, Saraya, and Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. I am only excited about one of these women as champion, and she's the one that's currently the champion. I should pull that back. I think Toni Storm is great. I think the current storyline Toni Storm has going, where she is becoming a little bit unhinged and a little bit Marilyn Monroe, is really interesting. So I would rather her be like bummed out she doesn't have the belt and kind of losing it. I think that's very interesting, and I'd rather see more of that. But her being champion again, I'd be fine with that. Shida is the current champion. It feels like Shida became the current champion because they wanted to have a big title change at Dynamite 200, and that's the title change they went with. That's the belt they felt most comfortable with having a new champion. So they did it. They did a title change at 200. Shida became the champion. She's, she will be champion in front of a large crowd. This is the woman who lost the belt the first time they had audiences. She's a pandemic era champion. It is cool that she will be in front of a large crowd as champion. I don't see Shida winning this. I don't actually even see Britt winning it. All signs point to Saraya winning. The least interesting outcome. Now, they could do something interesting with Saraya pinned Toni Storm to win. Or Toni Storm did all the work and Saraya stole the pinfall victory. There's stuff they could tell with them being in the same faction that could be interesting. Don't get me wrong. Could be interesting. But Saraya, since she came back, has not really wowed me as a professional wrestler. And I don't really need it. And it also feels like if she wins, it's because they're in London and she's British. And that's not a good reason to win anything. Just because you're from there. We've got a tag team match. It's a tag team coffin match. I believe you win by putting both of your opponents in a casket. Or a coffin, I should say, because it's a coffin match. I don't think it's first person to coffin your team loses. I think it's a double coffin, but I don't particularly know. But anyway, it's Darby Allin and Sting against Swerve Strickland and Christian Cage. That's right. It was originally supposed to be AR Fox, but on Wednesday, AR Fox got blamed for the loss in a tag match and then got kicked out and beat up. He got kicked out of the Mogul Embassy, which is a real shame. Now, there are reports that there is a funeral that he's going to, and he could not attend. There are also conflicting reports that say, well, there is the funeral, but he was going to skip that funeral. The reason why he can't do it is because he's not. There is a fear that he wouldn't be allowed into England. So it's a travel problem, and he didn't tell anybody until the last minute. Jacob McCourt just subscribed with Prime. That's 7 months. Thank you so much, Jacob. Let's throw the barricade, the Lego, the site, the moat. Thank Jacob McCourt for renewing your subscription. Appreciate that very much. Thank you for that. And welcome to the old stream. Happy to have you here. And also, I have to update the number. My current. We're doing a little wrestling talk. Yes, Jacob, we're going down the card for tomorrow. Tomorrow's All In. So we're doing a little wrestle talk. But yes, because of your renewed subscription, I have now the most I've ever had as subscribers. The number keeps going up, which is very, very cool. Besides the AR Fox shenanigans and, read into it how you want, it could be something simple as death in the family. It could be something like, oh, well, there is that, but also there was a chance they wouldn't let him into the country, and he didn't tell anybody, which is much more of a serious thing, and might explain why instead of him getting injured in the storyline or something, they did the story where they kicked him out of the group. Like, that feels like, oh, he pissed somebody off. And who knows? Maybe maybe that's a swerve. Swerve Strickland. Maybe we're being swerved and AR Fox does show up. And this was just a way to get Christian in there because Luchasaurus is facing Darby at All Out. And so they wanted to combine the two storylines. Because it is weird that Darby's like in two storylines. That's the problem with having back-to-back pay-per-views. All right, we're body complete in the Michaelis. So now we're moving on to the right arm. And I've got some stickers. I got a sticker to put on here. And it's a sticker that gets covered up with a clear piece, like a purplish clear, which is really nice. So we'll get into that right now. My prediction for this match, Darby and Sting win. I don't think that they are going to have Sting lose his first match in AEW because he is undefeated. Sting is undefeated in AEW. And I don't think his first loss is going to be at All In. It should happen at some point. It needs to happen. He can't be undefeated forever. But I don't think his first loss is going to be here. It also is weird if Darby Allin lost with Luchasaurus interfering and then faces Luchasaurus in a week. That just feels like an odd choice if that's what they were going to do. So my assumption coming into it, as someone that, not a betting man, but let's see. My belief anyway going into this would be that Darby and Sting are going to win this one. Which also means that Christian Cage, twice in 1 year, will be put in a coffin. That's 2 in 1 year. And I think that's very funny. That's the other reason why I want it to be Darby and Sting, is because that leads to that conclusion, which is the funniest outcome, in my opinion. Is, oh yeah. And then he fucking gets put in a casket twice in 1 year. Or a coffin, I should say. Not a casket. Okay, let's see. We also have the Golden Elite, Kota Ibushi, Kenny Omega, Hangman Adam Page, versus Konosuke Takeshita and Bullet Club Gold. In this case, represented by Juice Robinson and Jay White. Taking into consideration, we probably will have the Guns around. The other members of Bullet Club Gold. So this one feels like, obviously not set in stone. This is just rumors. We don't know. The rumored match is that for All Out is we're going to get Kenny Omega versus Takeshita. Now, do we get that because one pins the other in this match? I don't know. Bullet Club Gold has lost some matches that they probably should feel stronger than they are, so maybe they should be winning this on the big stage. But then do you have Kenny and Kota lose with Hangman? Hangman's just around. Hangman is there because he needs to be there. It doesn't really feel like this is important for him. Maybe he'll come out of this with a match against a member of the Bullet Club in the future or something like that. A Hangman Jay White program could be pretty cool. A Hangman Juice program could be pretty cool. There are cool options for this. I don't know if they're going to do any of that. This one's tough. I could go either way with this one. I think I'm going to go with the feel-good Golden Elite winning because I think that the other big multi-person match is going to go the other way. So this way there's a 6-man where things feel good because there's another 6-man where I think it's not going to be a happy ending. And then, yeah, so I think the Golden Elite are going to win here, and then storylines will get furthered because of that. Okay, the other multi-person match that we need to talk about is Eddie Kingston, Orange Cassidy, and then Chuck Taylor and Trent Beretta, the best friends, as their tag team, versus Penta L. Oh, sorry, and Penta L Zero. It's a 5-person. Versus Blackpool Combat Club, John Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, Wheeler Yuta, Santana, and Ortiz. Originally supposed to be a 6-person, but then storyline wise, with a crowbar, they beat up Penta's brother, Ray Fenix, so he could not compete. They just beat the shit out of him. In reality, is reported that he is trying to get his green card, and he cannot leave the country. It will make it difficult for him to leave the country, and in fact, the U.S. might not let him back in if he leaves the country while he's in the process of trying to get his green card situated, which is also why he did not do the last Triple Mania show because of that. Let's see. Other things. So then when he got taken out, then it became a 5-on-5. We don't know who the 6th person was going to be. The shocker was that it's Santana and Ortiz. Now, Eddie and Ortiz came to blows. There was a whole thing about, like, the House of Black, and it was a storyline that sucked. But it ended with Eddie pissed off at all of his friends. Pissed off at Penta, pissed off at Ortiz. Why Santana is like, hey, now that I'm back, let's go after Eddie. We don't know why. Why Ortiz is going the heel route in this one, we don't know why. We have not heard. Perhaps we will know at some point why this is happening. We don't know right now. But they're on the heel side. They're working with the Blackpool Combat Club. I love Eddie Kingston with all my heart. As a wrestler, as a man, I love this man. Nothing but love and respect for Eddie Kingston. I do not see. Oh, also, this is a Stadium Stampede match. So it's going to be wild and cool and full of nonsense spots and hopefully fucking rad as hell. But I feel like this is Blackpool Combat Club and Santana and Ortiz just came back. They should win this match. They should have a victory as their comeback. If they're going to do anything with these guys as a heel tag team, they should get a victory here. I think that's the way to go. You can further Eddie and Claudio because that feels like the natural thing. Is that story is not over, so you can fuel that. Best Friends and Blackpool Combat Club certainly have had their issues. It felt settled. It didn't feel like this needed to happen. Honestly, let's be real. Orange Cassidy should be having a singles match. It feels like this match is going to set up an all-out match where he's really beat up and I think loses the belt. But he has the international championship and they're doing an international show and he's not defending it on the international show. And that feels bad to me. That feels bad that he's not defending that title. That he, in my opinion, he should be defending that title on this show, and he's not. I feel like, this is setting it up. Now, who's that going to be? Who is he going to face? Could it be Wheeler Yuta again? Will it be? Are we going to get it all out? John Moxley versus Orange Cassidy, which I think would be great. I don't think John Moxley should have the belt. That feels weird to have him be the international champion, but like that's interesting. I don't know. And then I don't know what happens with Eddie. Eddie and Penta hang out for a bit. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with that. The Santana Ortiz stuff is interesting. It could be something. It could be a swerve, and it could be that Santana Ortiz are cool, and this was all a setup. I think that would be fun, but weird, an odd choice, and I don't think that's what's going to happen. There's a bunch of possibilities, but I just don't see Blackpool Combat Club losing this one. Will Ospreay versus Chris Jericho. We are now in the section of matches that I don't give a shit about or think should be on the card. That is not to say that I do not think that Will Ospreay should be excluded. Again, he is one of only 2 Brits that are on the card. You got him and Saraya. Will Ospreay is a fucking generational talent. He is a star. He should be doing something fucking very cool on this show. I'm not one of those people that thinks it should have been Will versus Kenny 3. I think you save that. You don't do that so soon after the last one. I think that's fine. But I think there was a better match to be booked than what we've got here, because there's nothing exciting to me about babyface Chris Jericho facing Will Ospreay. It's just not. Ospreay Jericho does not excite me in the least. Jericho should be in a multi-person match, not doing a match with someone that's going to make him look good, but clearly carry him. And I'm just not. I'm not super invested in that match. There's nothing about it. The Don Callis, Chris Jericho story is interesting, but not how we got here. Just doesn't work for me. The match that doesn't need to be on this card at all. The title match for the not real title. You thought the FTW title was made up and unnecessary. Well, think again, because there's the quote unquote real world championship. That's right. CM Punk defending his belt that he doesn't actually technically have. Defending his belt against Samoa Joe. And you're like, Pat, didn't we already watch CM Punk versus Samoa Joe in the Owen Hart tournament? Yes. But that match wasn't for a made-up belt. And to clarify, when I say made-up belt, I mean that's a real title. The belt that CM Punk holds is his title. That is his AEW World Championship. Because he never lost it. He was stripped of the title when he was suspended for an incident. Brawl Out. He was suspended and stripped of the title. So he is not a champion. But because he never lost the title in kayfabe, he considers himself to be still a champion. So he is defending that belt. It is not the first time he's defended it. I don't know why anyone would want that belt. Samoa Joe, for some reason, wants to fight CM Punk again. That is the big part of this. It's for the title. It's nonsense. I would love it if Joe won and then was like, I don't care about this thing. I just want to beat you up. I wanted you to stop caring about this thing. I think that would be awesome. CM Punk is winning. There's no fucking way that CM Punk loses because it would be interesting. CM Punk has to retain this. He is going to get booed. He is going to work heel, even though Joe is a heel, because that crowd is going to be weird about CM Punk, and they're going to fucking lose their minds for Samoa Joe. Because a thing that I have to remind people that they forget is, 1, everybody fucking loves Samoa Joe. Even when he's a heel, he's a cool-ass heel, and people love him. And 2, the United Kingdom loves Impact Wrestling from many years ago. There is a period of Impact Wrestling where they were tanking in the United States. It was a large period. But when they would go overseas, it was incredible. They made so much money in the United Kingdom. They did so well there. They had good TV and they had good appearances and people were psyched to see them. Lasper says I bought All In, so that's definitely my pee break match. Yeah. Yes, CM Punk versus Samoa Joe is a snack break or pee break or whatever you need to do. It's a stretch, it's a look away, it's a check your phone. Because I don't think their TV match was that good, and I don't have high hopes for this one. But yeah, Samoa Joe is already huge and is gonna be even bigger over there. And it would be I don't even know if it would be super interesting. It would be maybe interesting if he won. So that's why he definitely won't, because then we're just gonna keep the storyline. Because my greatest fear of this whole bullshit nonsense, my belief of what is happening and what will happen, is that CM Punk is going to challenge the whoever is the world champion to unify the belts. That, of course, as a reminder, it's not real. It's just whatever, it's whatever. It's just he was a former champion that held up, that just never sent his belt back. So I don't have any faith that we'll get anything other than him trying to win the world title. I actually don't know if he'll win it. I know that there is a time where we're going to have champion versus quote unquote champion versus champion. That's definitely in the cards. If he actually wins that belt, I don't actually know. I can't see into the future that far. But he's definitely got in his head that he's going to do it. That's what it feels like anyway. And then another match. Like I said, the Will Ospreay CM Punk zone of, I don't know if I would care about this match, and I definitely don't think it needs to be on this card. House of Black, Malachi Black, Buddy Matthews, and Brody King with Julia Hart versus the Acclaimed, Anthony Bowens and Max Caster, and Billy Gunn, not Daddy Ass. They're sending in a badass. It seems like they're going to go with badass Billy Gunn. For a while there, they were calling him, when he first showed up in AEW, he was just there with one of his sons and then the other ones, and it was like Austin and Colton Gunn and their dad Billy. He was not Billy Gunn, because Billy Gunn was a trademark. It seems like that has been cleared up, and he's been Billy Gunn for a while, and it sounds like he might actually, according to the dirt sheets anyway, he might actually be badass Billy Gunn, just saying all the names. It's cool to say that. That's who he is. That's interesting. This match should be an all out, because who the fuck cares? Like, first off, the Acclaim should be in the tag division. It is so weird that they are teamed up with a 53-year-old man, 54-year-old man, going after belts. I think that I would love to see the House of Black go up against a real trio. There are real trios, and it could be way more interesting to see that. But yeah, I don't have much faith in this match. Feels like it is. So Lashbrook, he did. Billy Gunn, when the Acclaimed did Billy Gunn, hey, Lord Crashington, welcome. When the Acclaimed did Billy Gunn fought against the House of Black on TV, Billy Gunn cost him the match. Excuse me, sorry. Billy Gunn cost him the match, and then he felt real bad about it. And then a couple of them whispered something to him. And then he took off his boots, and he left his boots in the ring, and he quit. And he was ready to be retired in storyline. Hello, Chill Robots. So then, Billy Gunn was done. But those boots that the Acclaimed kept, House of Black stole those boots, and they put them in a dumpster, or no, they put them in a trash compactor. And they tossed those boots out, and we watched in video them crunching up those boots into garbage. And that's too far for badass Billy Gunn. So Billy Gunn is back, baby, and this time he's in it for keeps. And by keeps, I mean they're going to wrestle for the belts again. And this should be on All Out. This does not feel like it needs to be all in. Yes, this crowd is... Yes, he's going to get some new boots. This crowd, of course, will go buck-ass wild for Billy Gunn because he was on TV in the late 90s when a lot of people remember really loving wrestling. That crowd is going to go buck-ass wild for Billy Gunn. People were joking like, oh, he's bringing back an old gimmick for this one. And people were joking like, oh, cool. Is it going to be Mr. Ass? Is Chuck Palumbo going to be there? We don't know. Chill Robot says, Pat, I have been playing Armored Core, and it has mechas, but not wrestling, unfortunately. Yeah, there could be. I think, look, Armored Core 6, it doesn't need to have wrestling in it to be a good game. But I will say, if it also had wrestling, better game, right? Like a better game. If one of the Armored Core pilots that is like a big deal in that world is a former luchador, I mean, that just gives you a 0.5 bonus, right? As far as I'm concerned. Have people made Armored Core mechs in WWE 2K22? Lord Crushin, as far as I know, WWE 2K23, I should say. As far as I know, no. There are, of course, Transformers in there, because we've seen Optimus Prime. There's a Megatron that somebody did that it did not work right. It did not work, in my opinion. Like, fundamentally, did not work. But not like in a bad way, like in a, oh God, it just didn't work out. I've never seen anybody try to make like a mecha or like, there's Mega Man, there are robots. We've got Ultraman and a Kamen Rider in there, but like, yeah, I don't think anyone's tried to make a big mech. Again, I think the closest is Optimus Prime. I think that's the closest you're getting on that front. It would be cool, but yeah, I don't think so. And then one more match we have to talk about here before we move on, because we've been talking about every match on the All-In card for tomorrow. We have to talk about MJF versus Adam Cole, baby. Now, this is for the World Championship, and this could go one of many ways. MJF or Adam Cole win. And they shake hands and hug it out. And they're still friends. And we see in the future if they remain friends or if shit gets too much and there's too much jealousy and anger. We don't know. Adam Cole or MJF win and the other ends the friendship. Very mad about it. Pissed off. Friendship over. Those are with the idea that the friendship could have been over during the pre-show. That one of them made sure the other one was injured to make sure that they win. So friendship could have been over. Friendship could continue with some bad feelings. Friendship could end during the match. Those are the big ones that like feel interesting. With the idea of maybe Adam Cole wins, MJF immediately wants a rematch. That's the main event for All Out. The main event for All Out is the rematch of this match or whatever. Then we get into some bullshit booking, right? Bullshit booking, a clusterfuck, overbooked mess, however you want to say it. That's when there are a lot of shenanigans. Now, there's probably going to be shenanigans. You have a thing where you have Roddy Strong, and the Kingdom, who Roddy is feeling betrayed because Adam Cole's friendship with MJF is a detriment to their friendship, that's shit behavior right there. That's shitty behavior, Roddy. You can be wanting to look out for your friend, but your friend can have other friends. And the Kingdom is clearly just using Roddy Strong. It could be that they interfere. Do they interfere on MJF? Is this an MJF plot this whole time? Do they interfere for Adam Cole? So there's the interference to muck things up. And then there's the, in my opinion, actual worst case scenario, which is the like the no fit the dusty finish, that there is no conclusion, and we have to have a rematch at All Out because like the Kingdom and Roddy interfered and the match got thrown out. AEW rarely pulls this card. I think a definitive win. Now, to me, a heartbroken MJF, an MJF who believed Adam Cole, who in the end wanted that friendship to work. He wanted to be champion, but he was so happy to have somebody in his corner who believed in him, who looked out for him, that he is so hurt by and we get babyface MJF and heel Adam Cole, and we get the undisputed Kingdom because that's the whole thing. Roddy was cool about it. This is all distractions. Roddy and the Kingdom just cost MJF. That to me is the most interesting outcome. That's actually the outcome I want. Adam Cole with a short run as AEW champion, I think is excellent. I think that's an excellent choice. You do a short-term run, because I don't think that Adam Cole should be in the main event scene for months and months and months. He shouldn't be champion for months and months and months. Now, some people will say, well, Pat, I have in my mind someone that should beat MJF, and it's not Adam Cole. I think MJF wins the belt back. I think we get a few months of babyface MJF, pissed off, but still trying to be a good dude. Maybe some other people reach out and it just doesn't work right, and he's trying to replace Adam Cole with some other baby faces. It's just not clicking. And then he wins the belt and he goes back to his heelish ways. And by then, we have set up the next babyface to take him on. Like, I think that's probably the most interesting outcome for me, is to go that route. I hope that we get an actual finish to this match, and we don't get even if we don't get the destruction of a friendship, and that takes another week or more. Now, here's an interesting idea, one that I had not presented yet. Adam Cole and MJF win the tag belts, the Ring of Honor tag belts, in the pre-show. They win. And then Adam Cole beats MJF. They're still tag team champions, and MJF is trying to deal with the fact that he's not the world champ anymore, but does that matter because he has a best friend? But what if then Adam is a shitty friend? Like, that's interesting. That's an interesting idea. There are so many interesting ideas. To me, the least interesting of those is, one, there's a no finish, there's just whatever, and then inconclusive, and then like we're just spinning our wheels, I think, because of that. That's not interesting. And then the other one that's not interesting is MJF turns on Adam Cole during the tag match. He's like, hey, I like you, buddy, and it's been fun, but you're too close to this belt, and no thanks. And then MJF just becomes a heel, and Adam Cole is just like, oh, Max, damn it, you had me believing you. Like, that's, to me, not interesting, and I hope that I am genuinely hope that is not how this gets booked, because I think that is the least interesting option possible, is that it's just, oh, yeah, well, we needed something big to happen, so we did that. So hopefully that won't be the case. I'm excited for tomorrow. Again, my plan is to watch it live and then maybe also watch it again on Sunday night, because I often, with some friends, I have a crew, and we watch wrestling on Sundays. Normally we watch Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling, anything that happened that week. They did a show yesterday, but that was not streamed live, so it won't be up until next week sometime. So we don't have that. And I'm thinking that there will be people who are on the West Coast that probably won't be around for much or all of All In, because, pre-show is at noon. I should also say this. I haven't said this. I'm working tomorrow. I am doing a 5-hour shift, which is not that long as far as jobs, but is a 5-hour. When I say it's 5 hours of customer service, the thing I need to specify is I'm a swing shift person for this company that does customer service stuff, and my swing shifts are 3 hours. I normally only work 3 hours. I've never worked for them on a Sunday. It's usually midweek, and like often it is, oh, well, we want to have a few more people as these people sign off and these people sign in, or, oh, we're running up to, like, this week is important because there's a holiday weekend coming up, and people don't understand how holiday weekends work, and so there's going to be a lot of people emailing and calling in this week. Basically, most of the emails I'm going to be dealing with tomorrow are people being like, if I buy a package today, will it make it here by Friday? And you have to be like, well, where are you shipping it to? What, you got to answer all these questions to try to help these people that don't know how things work. I am going to be watching wrestling tomorrow and also doing customer service all day. It is in one part terrible timing, but also it will make me feel like the money I am spending on wrestling, because people are going to chip in for it because we're going to watch it. But the money I'm spending on wrestling, the portion I am spending on wrestling, it does feel like I will be getting some of that back. And that's not the worst feeling in the world, to be like, well, I'm working some of this off. So this needs to go like this. And then this needs to clip in. Well, clip in there. All right, we'll get to that in a second. Let me just quickly check something here. We're going to take a pause for the calls. I'll talk about ways you can support the channel, and we'll go through all of that in just a moment. But I just want to see. Okay, cool. I have a model kit shipping. I purchased another model kit. It is another kit from Witch from Mercury, because while I don't believe that I will be building every kit from Witch from Mercury, I will be building most of the kits because they are all rad. Did I buy a kit that is a variation of a kit that I've already built with another variation coming by the end of September? Yes. Yes, I did. I bought another Elfrith. And I have another Elfrith coming at the end of September. But the Elfrith are cool. So, and this one I think looks really neat. So we'll deal with that. So this is the pause for the cause. I'm going to talk kind of briefly. We'll get back to building soon as well. But this is my opportunity. I have this chance to talk to you about ways you can support the channel if you are so inclined. If you were interested in supporting the channel, you could do that. First and foremost, let's see people throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe, the Tier 2 blue emote in the chat. Being a subscriber is the easiest way to support what I do here through cash money, like Dirty. You could be a Tier 1 subscriber like Dirty is, or with your Prime Gaming token like Jacob is. So either way, the money comes to me. It's rad. That is a way to support me here. You could also gift a sub. You could join Bunny Fiend and Bobby Dice Roller and J Devil in gifting subs to the community. You could also be like Bunny Fiend and Harold and Stroud by donating bits. Bits are always appreciated. The bits. You could do that if you wanted to. And that's the easiest way to support me, is through Patreon. You get cool emotes. You don't see ads. It's nice. There are other ways to support what I do here. And I'll talk about them pretty briefly right now, and then we'll dig deeper. I have a Patreon at patreon.com/PatBear. There is a $1, $3, $5, and $10 tier. There are different rewards for the different tiers. Consider joining me on Patreon at patreon.com/PatBear at one of those many cool tiers if you're so interested in doing that. Also, I have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/PatBear. Subscribing to YouTube is free, so please do that. But if you want to become a member for just $2 a month, you would get my Wednesday videos a day early on Tuesday. Think about it. There's also direct donations through Coffee or PayPal or Stream Elements. Those are ways to directly support what I do here. And a reminder that everything I make through direct donations, like I just said, through YouTube, which includes AdSense, so watching my videos helps me out, through Patreon and through Twitch, through all those means, everything you donate goes into a fund, and I buy model kits with money from that. The Michaelis, I purchased Michaelis because of your generosity. Past you gave present you the gift of me building this very lovely looking model kit. And I will be building more kits in the future. Now, I have a backlog. I'm actually going to put up a poll tomorrow for my patrons to decide, my $10 patrons decide what I build next. So my $10 patrons will be able to vote, decide what I build next. No problem at all. There's a way to circumvent that and have you as an individual could decide what I build next. And that's by buying something off my Amazon wish list. I have many things on this wish list, and if you buy it, I'll make a dedicated video on YouTube, and you jump the queue and become the next thing that I build. I have inexpensive Lego sets. I have inexpensive model kits, expensive model kits, unbelievably expensive model kits, pretty pricey Lego sets. I added more Mold Kings. You may remember the AE86 from Initial D, knockoff Lego, the Mold King line, that came in its own cool case, its clear plastic case. I built that, and I had a good time building that. I have put 2 more Mold Kings up for purchase on my wish list. The RX-7, which is the cool yellow car from Initial D, with all the stickers to make it from the show, and also a Batmobile, which fucking looks rad. Is this... I think this Mold King Batmobile isn't... Yes. So this Batmobile is not labeled as a Batmobile. It is numbered Bat Sports Car, is what they say. It is a Bat Sports Car. They literally don't... There's no logo on it. It is so fucking bootleg. It is obviously the Batmobile, but they do not call it that, and it does not have the Bat logo on it. It is, I think, hilarious. Build your own supercar. It's very fucking funny. This is definitely the Batmobile. It is it has flames coming out of it. It's kind of fucking rad. And that's on my wish list. And I would love, if you want to see me build that, buy it. I got a couple other wish lists. As I said, that's on the wish list there. I got a Throne wish list. That's an alternative to Amazon. And they do good work over there. And then also you go to USA Gundam Store, make an account in USA Gundam Store, buy a gift card. You get that code. Then you send me a whisper here on Twitch or a DM on Twitter with that gift card code. I will use that gift card code in the process of buying a model kit from USA Gundam Store. That's it. That's a way to support me, the most convoluted way possible. Okay, what else was I going to say? All right, so if you want to support me and not spend any money, I have a Discord. You can join my Discord. I post build photos at the end of every stream. People post stuff they're working on. It is a nice little place full of good people. You're welcome there. We'd love to have you over on the Discord. A couple of video links for you to check out, and then we'll get back to building. Please check out Pat Bear's Anime Club. There will be a new episode up on Monday, but the current Pat Bear's Anime Club video is me recommending some shows you might have missed from early 2023. The first 2 seasons of the month, there was some great stuff. Maybe you missed out on it. I also took recommendations from people of stuff that, hey, don't skip this. And one of them was for The Fire Hunter, an anime I hadn't watched. And I give a quick review of that anime, the first 5 episodes, on Monday's episode. Because people recommended, hey, you shouldn't miss this one. And I had missed it. So I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll just watch that. And then Baerly Rehearsed is an ongoing video series where every week I write and then perform a comedy piece. And I promise that I have rehearsed it. This one is This one was me earnestly trying to make like a motivational Instagram post, and I didn't post it on Instagram. I only posted it in my YouTube series. The last week's was like 4 minutes long and like a lot of writing, and this one was very easy and silly, and I just want to do a silly one. It's the shortest, and I can't think I'll make one ever shorter. Um, so yeah, that one is that one's silly. That one's for me more than anyone else. All right, I'm going to talk about some anime, but I also need to drink a little water and take my pills. So I'm going to do that, and then we'll get back into building in just a second, and we'll also talk about some anime here. But we're going to dramatically transition back to the overhead, which we will do right now. All right, let's keep working on this other arm. I got 2 anime episodes to talk to you about. We've got Saint Cecilia and Pastor Lawrence. So episode 7 is a story in like 2 parts. There is like a little bit of setup and just some shenanigans, and then like things. I don't want to say things pop off, but like we're gonna mix things up a little bit and maybe get a little messy. We might get a little messy in this episode. We start off with Hazeletta stumbles upon Cecilia, who is spying on Lawrence because she thinks that he is hiding a secret from her. So we have Lawrence going about his business, Cecilia tailing him, and then Hazeletta tailing Cecilia. Cecilia is in a different anime. And then Abel joins in, and then also, for whatever reason, the fortune teller from a previous episode, she also starts following them for seemingly unknown reasons. She's also like, I also want to know what's going on here. So they're following. So there's a tail on a tail. They go to the clothing shop, and they're like, what's he doing at the clothing shop? But also, in the process, Abel, Hazeletta, and the fortune teller lose track of Cecilia. She gets lost and loses track of Lawrence. So it's like, oh no. Oh God. Oh, we all fucked up. We all fucked this up. So what are we going to do? But meanwhile, turns out that our girl, she met up with the son of the clothing shop owner. Rebecca owns the clothing shop. Her son is, Eric. And so there's a whole thing where they're like, hey, Lawrence, Cecilia is lost. She was following you. We were following her. Okay, let's go look for her. Actually, oh, look, here she is. She showed up. No harm, no foul. She's here with Eric. Turns out shenanigans have taken place, but we find out, okay, Eric is being tutored by Pastor Lawrence. He picked up a job tutoring him, and turns out Lawrence told Cecilia about the job. He was like, yeah, I told you I was going to be doing this. And she does not remember that conversation happening because she was very tired while it happened. So that's why she didn't know this was going down, because she was sleepy when he told her. Which is, I think, fair enough. I would say fair enough reason why she doesn't remember, because she was all sleepy. Anyway, that kind of gets figured out eventually. There's some conversation between Eric and Cecilia, and we kind of get the understanding that we knew that Cecilia was very sheltered, but it's gone on more than originally, I guess I would have assumed, that she really does not have she probably also needs some tutoring, it seems like. Okay, so why can't I get this piece to fit in? Did I do this wrong? Hold on. There we go. That needed to snap in a way that didn't feel great. But we're almost done with this arm, everybody. Okay, so now the meat of the episode is, after all that's done, there's a letter to Lawrence that Lawrence and Abel need to go to this conference. Apparently, Lawrence has been skipping out on his pastor duties and has been skipping these conferences because he was worried about taking care of Cecilia. And there's a discussion, Hazeletta could hang out with Cecilia. But this meeting is happening in the town that they're from. Hazeletta has family there. They'd like to see her. Also, Cecilia's like, I would like to go with you. What if the four of us went together? And there's, some conversation about that, but they agree that actually maybe that's not a bad idea. So they're all going together. They're not going to refer to her as a saintess. She's going to disguise herself so that hopefully nobody knows. Let's see. So they go to the city, and Eric goes with them, which is odd. But apparently Eric was just traveling with them because Eric's mom was like, hey, go with them to the city and they're go do some business for me as a clothing shop owner. Go represent me in there. And I don't know if Eric's going to be important. I don't know why this happened, but that did happen. So they go and meet Pastor Hugo. Runs into at the church. Again, they're hiding the fact that Cecilia is the saint. Pastor Hugo, who knew Lawrence's grandfather and was once his teacher, is just like, hey, I've heard a rumor that there's a saint. And, around, and he's like, hey, just so you know, that saint's in good hands. Because he's like, yeah, because I'm worried because, there's sometimes where they get mistreated. He's like, no, you don't have to worry about that, which is nice. Cecilia gets pulled aside by some girls that work in the church that are locals. And she's like, uh-oh, are they going to figure out who I am? And then she's like, they're asking about Lawrence and what her relationship with Lawrence is. Because they all came together. And she's like, uh-oh, oh no. Is this going to be like jealousy or a problem? No. Plot twist. The girls are like, so are you with him? Because that would be so nice. Because they want Lawrence to be in a relationship. They're excited about the prospect of Lawrence being in a committed relationship with somebody. They think that would be neat. So they want the gossip, but they're also championing our friend. Anyway, somebody comes by and tells them to get to work because they weren't supposed to take a break. They leave, and then a dude shows up to Cecilia and is like, "Oh yeah, I'll keep an eye on this lady that knows that knows Lawrence, sure." And this fucking guy, starts hitting on Cecilia and putting the moves on Cecilia and being real aggressive, like in a not cool way. But don't worry, because Lawrence shows up and he's like, hey, back the fuck off. And then the audience, finds out that this is Hazeletta's older brother, Giselbert. So we got a new character. And this guy, maybe he was kidding. Maybe he was serious. We don't know. Will it be a love rival? Will it be a weirdo? Will he know that she's the saintess? Who knows? Who could say? But shenanigans are continuing here. And I hope it's not a love triangle. I hope this is just like a misunderstanding or a friendly rivalry or whatever. Because, we're only a little over halfway through the season, and we don't need a love rival. This show continues to be just an easy, fun watch, just a good time. I recommend it if you're looking for a romantic comedy this season. It's just very fucking cute. It's just very cute and a good time. Undead Murder Farce. So this episode is either action or character monologue. So I'm not going to give my usual play-by-play. I'm going to give more of a recap overall of what's going on here, and then I will say the ending because we are moving on to a new arc, but is directly related to this arc after this. The end of the arc, it feels like, the Diamond arc. So, even though in the last episode they never said it, we know this time we finally learned James Moriarty is the villain. The antagonist in this series the whole time, the big bad, the professor who has a cane with an M on it in a series that also has Sherlock Holmes. Turns out Moriarty has the banquet, which is his group of weirdos. We learned that. With that, we finally can say, oh yeah, that the villain, the person that stole Anna's head, or stole Anna's body after decapitating her, and the person that turned Suguru into a demon, or awoken his demon abilities, cursing him. Yeah, that's Moriarty. It's been Moriarty this whole time. And the guy that I knew immediately was Jack the Ripper. We really didn't know he was Jack the Ripper. Like, we knew, but we didn't know. There's more to it, everybody. So, a reminder, this crew is Moriarty leading a pack of a vampire, Carmilla, who is most likely from the first ever vampire in fiction, a Irish novella, predates Dracula, Bram Stoker's Dracula. So we have a vampire. We have Aleister Crowley, a real person who existed, who was obsessed with the occult, and in this series is a fake magician. He doesn't have real magic. Don't know why. Somebody who is with the books of Frankenstein, Dr. Frankenstein. That Victor is Frankenstein's monster, not made by Frankenstein, made based on Frankenstein's notes. And also a redhead named Jack. And you can guess if you want. Spoilers. Hey, that's Jack the Ripper. That's the last member. Now, the thing we learn in this episode, amongst all of the fighting and choreography, is that Jack the Ripper is very good at fighting. John, it could have been Jack Sparrow, but it was definitely Jack the Ripper. Also, Jack the Ripper is. I gotta look this up. I wrote down some specific here. He is a laboratory experiment. He is a murderer who has been given cells of supernatural creatures, and they're trying to give him like the best cells. Like they're still they want to put werewolf cells in him, which is I guess leading to the next arc. So that is the whole thing. Does he have immortal genes? He might have some of Anna in there. He might have some demon blood in him. We don't know, but he does have. He is probably the strongest human ever because of this. And the whole reason the banquet exists is to go out and these monsters is to collect more supernatural creatures to feed them to the apprentice to make Jack the Ripper even bigger. And I don't know why they want the diamond. I don't remember. If it was explained, I apologize. I did not understand the explanation as to why they wanted that diamond. So there's a lot of fighting. There's people are fighting with each other. Sherlock Holmes just starts shooting people ineffectively, unfortunately for Holmes, because also Sherlock Holmes is in this fucking anime. There's someone gets attacked with a piano. Because also Eric, the Phantom of the Opera, is there. Now, the Phantom of the Opera is not part of Phantom of the Opera. He is not part of this crew. He was separately trying to steal the diamond, and he was working with Lupin. He was working the original Lupin, or or Lupin. So Lupin is also in the mix, and Eric, the Phantom of the Opera, which is why the piano comes into place. This is fucking wild and weird, and we get monologues from people and trying to explain what's going on, and it's bizarre. Yeah, is Charles Dickens in there? I don't know. He could be. A lot of weird shit happens in there. It is wild and nonsensical. And then, so they break into the house. They steal the diamond, and they're off to go and find the hideout of the werewolves, because that's what they want more than anything. They want werewolf cells to give to Jack the Ripper. That's their next big plan. Is they got to get them cells. But hey, guess what? Plot twist at the end of the episode: Suguru found the diamond and prevented it being stolen. So all of this work, and nobody stole the diamond. Also, the person that owns this diamond that this break-in was happening about and all this fighting, that's Fogg, the main character from Around the World in 40 Days. So that's also canon in this weird thing. Oh yeah, so also that character is around. So it's a bunch of nonsense. So much nonsense is happening consistently in the show. It is, I would describe this show as very fucking fun. A lovely, pleasant surprise. I look forward to more of it. I highly recommend it because it is just fucking buck wild. It is just a buck wild series, and I think you will enjoy it. It's on Crunchyroll. It is worth taking a look at if you're looking for another series this season. It's just so weird and so wild. And that's the anime I've been watching. So that's where we're at as far as anime goes. Now is the part of the stream where I want to hear from you. What are you watching? What are you playing right now? What are you into video games wise? You go to the movies, you're playing anything, you watching any anime, watching any TV shows? Were you watching the FedEx Cup today? I think it's the last of the playoffs for the FedEx Cup. If you're a big golf guy, or gal or pal, let me know what you're into, what you're up to, while I'm giving you time to let me know that stuff. Catch up with the delay. I'll tell you what's up with me. Obviously, played some Hearthstone today. Didn't really play any other video games today other than Hearthstone. You know what I played yesterday? I played 3.5 hours of WWE 2K23 CPU versus CPU matches. And you know what I did yesterday before I did that? I downloaded and set up a bunch of arenas. If you missed yesterday's stream, I think it's worth watching. It is so silly and so fun. Very frustrating. I regret to inform you that Gaston remains our champion. Gaston won a fatal 4-way match somehow, defeated Mega Man, and who did he fight? He fought Mega Man, the Great Saiyaman, and the Wii Fit trainer. He unfortunately remains our champion. But don't worry, because Agent 47 won an 8-man Money in the Bank ladder match. Unfortunately, he defeated me. Pat Baer 0 for 2 in matches. I lost the North American Championship match, which there was to declare the first ever champion, to Alucard, and then I also lost a match against that 8-man. Unfortunately, the representation of me in the game just had a bad bet, just bad night. But we watched a lot of those matches yesterday. Once again, a count out in the tag matches. I'm going to have to do... We've now had 2 count outs in a row with the Ninja Turtles. And so I think I'm going to have to do either a cage match or a falls count anywhere match or something with those fucking turtles because they keep winning via count out, and that's not cool. So I got to do something there. And then also, what else did I put in there? I did that. I thought that was good. Oh, I had a bad location for Shoko and Misao taking on Mystique and Kairi Sane because I did some custom venues, and that one was a tables. It was supposed to be a tag team tables match, and they just both kind of exited the screen, and that was a big fucking problem for me because I couldn't see what was happening, and then they just glitched out, and none of them would go towards a table. At one point, Kairi Sane set up a table, but then she didn't ever go back to it. So a rematch is going to happen at the next stream of that, and I will probably just do a traditional match with them in a traditional way because we didn't actually get to see them. We heard them. We heard the audience yelling at them, but we never actually saw them really wrestle much. So I gotta do a redo on that one, and I will do a redo on that one, and hopefully it'll turn out good. So we will get more of that. The lovely folks there. And yeah, I mean, like, I don't know, Guitar Man remains like impossible to defeat for the money in the money, like the $1 billion championship. Wonder Woman defeated Kid Bandit, which is a real shame. Kid Bandit was a great champion, and we'll expect more in the future. Kid Bandit, but it happens. Yeah, that was a good show. Charles Barkley wrestled because Charles Barkley's is a CPU character in the game. That's fun. But yeah, good times overall. Terry Funk and Eddie Kingston had a hardcore match. That was a good time. There was a cage match that was fun. I had Bray Wyatt and Uncle Howdy. I bought DLC. My first ever DLC that I paid for in that game was to have Bray Wyatt and Uncle Howdy. And that was nice to have in there. I'm now going to check what y'all wrote. Y'all wrote some stuff down. Let's see. I was going to say, I obviously played Armored Core 6, loving it. Even the hard part, says John. That's rad. I'm glad for you. I don't think I'm going to be playing that game. One, because I'm not... I really liked the first Armored Core game, and I liked the second, and then I think that's where I kind of stopped. But also because money is not great right now. So I am not going to be doing that, but I will probably get back into it. AC6 just started. I finished downloading an hour ago, so that much in. Okay, great. Cool. You're getting your butt kicked. Okay. This is Ghost Valve. Hi, Ghost Valve. Lashbrook says, I've also been playing a bunch of AC6. Glad I had an Elite controller, but it's still very tiring on the hands. I could totally imagine that'd be a very tiring game. Yeah. Very intense, tiring game. Sure. Lord Crash says, I've been watching Columbo for the first time on Peacock, which has been pretty good. Long episodes, but looked it up to see that it was presented on a weekly movie series type of show back in the day that explains the slow burn kind of vibes that the early episodes have. Yes, it was presented like a special TV event. And that's why the episodes feel different. Columbo is very much of its time, but I really enjoy Columbo. As that's just a thing you could turn on and really understand there. The idea of this guy like just tricking people, just going across the country and internationally, just getting people to think that he's a dumbass and then slip up. It's fun. Also, the idea that it's not the who, it's the how and the why. And I think that's fun. Then John says, I'm almost done with Chapter 3, and I have a bad bruise on my left thumb from the spacebar work. I need an AC6. KBM really destroying my left hand. Well, I will say this, friends. Obviously, video games are fucking cool as hell. Don't get me wrong. I think video games whip ass. But, you know what's really cool? Is not being unhappy with how your hands feel. That's super cool, is when your hands don't hurt in a way that make you very sad. So I would say it's pretty good. Um, okay, let's see. Okay. There is a new mod that I am thinking about getting in Persona 4 Golden that is a costume mod that you can buy, and it makes your Persona 4 characters in dungeons look like the Persona Q 2 models, which would make it look very different. I don't think I'm going to get that. I might get that though. I am going to uh, bookmark that one because maybe that would be fun. Um, I like that every suspect says Columbo looks like shit when they first meet him. Because he does. That's the thing. He does look like shit. It's on purpose, but he does look like a schlubby motherfucker that you would totally think is a dumbass. Now, also, obviously, they also think that they're above the law and smarter than the police and all that. But this guy looks like he called in a bunch of favors, and it is like nepotism that he became a detective. But people think they can just walk all over his ass, and then they don't. And he's saying, I should check out this Columbo guy. Yeah, hell yeah. What's really cool is not having a really cramped up hand. Yes, I would say having your hands not cramp up is pretty great for like various tasks and things you want to do in your life. Like there are going to be times where you would like to, where the idea that your hand is not all cramped up, you'd be like, oh, fuck yeah. Another day in paradise. My hand's not all weirded up and messed up and bothering me. What a lucky guy I am to have that. Or gal or pal. I think one woman said he looked like an unmade bed in the morning. Yep, that's a pretty good insult, and also pretty fucking accurate to Columbo and what he's dealing with. Yeah, that's just an enjoyable show. I should watch more Columbo. I don't have Peacock right now, but I could. I might be getting Peacock again. Every once in a while, I get a free month from various means, and I should watch some of that. But I don't use Peacock enough to justify me paying for it monthly. My only subscriptions right now are streaming subscriptions are Amazon Prime, which doesn't really count because I don't really use it. My mom uses Amazon Prime more than I do because I have it set up on her TV, her and my dad in their bedroom. And mostly I use Amazon Prime for shipping things more than watching stuff. But I pay for that. That's fine. I also pay for, of course, Crunchyroll and High Dive. Those are, tools of the trade. And then, of course, I pay for Wrestle Universe. And I mostly only watch Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling, but occasionally I also watch on there some DDT, and occasionally I watch some Noah. I don't watch Ganbare much because the indie camera style they use, the handheld camera style they use, makes me feel nauseous. So I don't watch Ganbare. I think a Blu-ray set of Columbo was on Wario 64 feed recently. I buy that. Harold's here. What's up, Harold? And then Lord Crashing says, I did like seeing an earlier Leslie Nielsen before he became a big comedy movie guy with white hair. Yes, Columbo has a lot of guest stars that you'll be like, wait, I remember this person when they were old, fairly, recently. They're not as old in this one. Or, wait, I think this person, you look it up and you go, oh, this is somebody famous's dad who was just like, or mom who was just like a working actor. Or a star of a show from a couple years in the future is in here right now, just getting that paycheck, doing that villain of the week job, and in 2 years they'll be on Murder She Wrote as well, and then they'll be like a mid-tier bad guy in MacGyver, just running, just working the circuit, getting those jobs. Whatever comes their way. Steven Spielberg directed the first episode because he would do before he would do Jaws a few years later. Yep. Yeah, I mean, movie directors also got to eat. So, yeah. Try to get in however they can. A joke that I saw today that made me laugh that maybe you'll appreciate is somebody said that they should hire the people that made the Weird Al biopic, quote unquote biopic, and have them do a biopic on Hulk Hogan where they treat all of his lies, because he's a pathological liar, they treat all his lies as if it happened. And I don't think that would be a good movie, but it's a fun exercise. But yeah, I don't want Eric Pell to have to do that, because then he would have to learn a lot about Hulk Hogan that he doesn't need to learn. My buddy Eric doesn't need to know that shit. Just bum him out. My voice is not excellent. I'm going to try not talking much tomorrow. And I wonder why. Could it be because yesterday I streamed for 3.5 hours, and then so Weird Al's biopic, but about a terrible person? Yes, indeed. Yeah, I streamed like 3.5 hours yesterday. Streamed Thursday night. I was on the phone yesterday with some phone call interview. Yeah, I wonder why my voice is not great after talking so much. Weird. Anyway, I'm going to try to be on vocal rest tomorrow and just quietly be mad at that. Yes, Hulk Hogan is still here. The Grim Reaper does not operate on a karma system or a point system. That much is abundantly clear. I will just say, this is not, this is just me saying that, obviously in the case of Bray Wyatt, it is just a horribly sad and gone too soon and unbelievably sad that happened. In the case of Terry Funk, he lived a very long life, a very hard-hitting life, and it is, and he survived way longer than a lot of his peers, and it is kind of remarkable how long of a life he held, considering his lifestyle and his style of wrestling. And also, we mentioned at the top of the stream, Bob Barker did live to the age of 99, just months shy of his 100th birthday. That is clearly, we mourn because Bob Barker was such a part of so many people's lives and childhoods, but also he did live a very, very long life. So you can only be so sad about that. But of course, sad. Yes, also Bob Barker, beloved by a lot of people, not as much by the people that worked directly for him. Which is unfortunately often the case with beloved public figures, is that some of the people that that doesn't necessarily translate to the people they work with, unfortunately. Which is a shame, obviously. Yeah, certainly could have been typical for that. But I mean, that's also like, unfortunately, a bit of human nature to be in a position of power like that and to be beloved and to feel like you are being beloved and therefore everything is cool. That is occasionally a very rough position to be in, where you feel like you are the center of the universe, and you start believing that you are the center of the universe, and you start questioning when people don't think that way. Just fucked. It's very fucked. All right. Well, I think that we will probably finish this kit on Monday because we've got the frames of the legs. So what do we have left? We have to do the armor for the legs. We got to build that stuff front, side, back, various layers of it, ankles, all that. So we've got all that to do. I'm probably going to panel line a couple parts of this that'll shine through the armor on my own time. So we got to do all that. Then we come over, we finish all that. We'll put the legs in there, get it all set up. And then we have to build the blaster. Because you can see, this kit doesn't have an arm set up. That's on purpose. Because we still have to build the blaster, which has a lot of stickers on it. We got to build the big blaster, and then we got to build the variation of the blaster that allows us to have it detach, and then it'll live on a stand. You can see here, we got the blaster on the arm, and then there's the variation where it opens up, and then it comes off the arm, and it can shoot it out, basically, for whatever reason. And then also, there is one of the things that is fucking cool about this shit is, look at this. No beam saber handles. The beam saber is on the shield part, and then also on the blaster gun. This shit fucking kicks ass. That is the idea of that it is like a sword arm, basically. Oh, so cool. Doesn't fit perfect in there, but it looks so fucking rad. So yeah, we got more building to do. We'll do more building. But we got a lot done on this fucking kit. I'll say that. We definitely got a lot done here. Obviously, there's more to do. But a good starting point here. And a good skeleton of it. Can I get this to stay up here? No, get all weird. Yeah, we'll do it like that. Okay. That's going to do it. I'm going to actually wrap up now. I apologize that I'm wrapping up a little early, but my voice is not great right now, and I do want to do a little rest because I want to make sure that I have a strong voice for you all. What was I about to say? Oh, I want to make sure I have a strong voice for you on Monday to kind of make up for the fact that I'm a little out of it today. And I'm just fucking getting tired, y'all. Just getting tired. So we're going to wrap up the stream there. I hope you have a great night. We're going to raid, though. That is how we end every stream. We're going to go find somebody doing cool shit out there. Go give them a little bit of love. As John says, we always end with a raid. Because we do. We always do end with a raid. So let's find somebody doing some stuff out there that we want to go hang out with and see what's going on. Who's streaming tonight? I think we haven't raided Frank in a very long time. Yeah. Frank is playing Fortnite. I don't know who Frank is streaming with, but Frank is good people. Frank often streams with Will Smith, who's good people. But Frank is good people. Great little community there. So we're going to go raid Becky and Frank because they have a joint Twitch account. But this is Frank playing Fortnite. So let's go have some fucking Saturday night Fortnite. It'll be a fun time. He's streaming with Mike, it looks like. Oh, nice. That's good. Good to hear. So we'll go hang out there. That'll be fun. I will see you on the next one. I hope you have a great night. Come back on Monday as I probably wrap up this kit because there's not a lot to do, but there is some to do. Thank you all so much for hanging out. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye. Goodbye.